I'm going live. I'm just testing to make sure that everything works right and that I can stream from this laptop in a decent frame rate and also hear everything, which I will now test on my telephone. Brent Doolittle. Every time I Google or I look at myself on YouTube, I see different things.
Oh my. What is this for?
I'm just
a stream test.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's play the audio to my telephone. Telephone. Why are we not connected? Why are we not connected?
What are this?
Previously
What are
connected
those?
devices. Jaybird Freedom. There we go. Now I will be able to hear myself. And alright, so this might be the future look of the Thursday show. Not necessarily exactly this, because it's pretty jank. But there's a potential that this thing keeps bugging me that the battery's low, and I don't care. But yeah, so just testing and seeing whether I can do everything from this laptop without actually having to have a beefy computer underneath, which is neat.
Okay. Well,
So
good.
just shoot the shoot.
Just shoot the shoot. Okay. I am currently building a slideshow
Oh yeah.
for church. So I got that going on. There is a couple of bunnies hugging. That's going into this slide. Interesting.
Bunnies.
Never was one for furries, but you know, each to their own.
What is your favorite news or not favorite? What was the news article, news headline that stood out to you the most today? Today is the 19th.
Today, I have not even looked at the news today. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Actually, that's not true. I've glanced at some news. I haven't, read anything today. Headline-wise, I saw on my phone earlier from the local news
Oh boy.
that there was, I think, a shooting somewhere around here. And no. There was a man stole a car with a gun in it, and they considered him armed and dangerous at Emory and Henry.
Nice.
But
Wait,
he
Emory
turned
and
himself in. Yeah,
Okay, how far away is that from here?
I have no clue. It's somewhere.
There was a guy in Wisconsin that shot up a office building or something today.
Oh,
I was at Popeyes getting lunch, and I got a notification on my phone that a bunch of people, whenever a ton of people tune into a stream on this app I have called Stream or Scanner. Yeah, Scanner Radio. I bought this app 10 years ago. But whenever somebody, a bunch of people tune into the same radio station, it'll tell me, and it's hey, a bunch of people are listening to this radio station. And then I look at the news and I just type in the name of the city, and it was somebody, shooting up something in downtown Middleton, Wisconsin.
yikes.
That was crazy.
That's pretty spooky.
Uh-oh, I'm looking at this, and this says Halo Infinite will have microtransactions.
Well,
But
that's
no
not
loot
exciting.
boxes.
Huh. I think I am more okay with the business model of you will have quote unquote microtransactions, in that if you want, if you see a really cool character skin or a cool helmet for your character, you can go and pay 99 cents and you get exactly that item. I think I'm okay with that. But
Yeah, as long as it's cosmetic.
Yeah, as long as it's cosmetic and you're not paying 99 cents or $1.50 to get an insta-kill sniper rifle that obliterates the whole of the team. My biggest problem comes from the loot box things. The randomly generated loot where you basically can pay real money to take a spin at the slot machine and you can get randomized stuff out of that.
Right.
Like it's an interesting concept, and when it first came out I was like, okay, that's cool, that's something different. I hadn't seen it when it was first. I think my first experience with it was in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I believe. And my hang up with that is that there are a ton of cases where people with gambling addictions have gotten into that and completely ruined themselves financially or ruined their parents if they're kids. And that I think is a problem because that's what the business practice relies on. That's what it's built around, is hoping that you will have people who spend tons and tons of money because that's the only way to make it profitable. I think they refer to people who do that as whales, which is weird, but you implement a randomized loot system like that, hoping that a few whales come along, spend an asinine amount of money because either they can't or they just have the disposable income to do so.
I think I know what you're talking about, like Pokemon Go, like apps like Pokemon Go where there's microtransactions. It's like people will come through and they'll either like spend no money on it or they'll spend a ton of money on it. Like most people fall into the no money camp, but there are enough people in the spend tons and tons of money on it.
Yeah.
To make it worthwhile. Why do I keep opening new tabs?
Yeah, and that's exactly kind of how it happens.
Have you seen this, by the way? MGK is Rap Devil. Did you see the video where he performed it and he got booed off stage by everybody? I watched 2 videos about this. In the first video I watched...
Thank you for tuning in, Mr. Tim.
Who?
Mr. Tim Weber is watching us stream.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's watching our stream test.
Oh, well, we're just testing, so...
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. We're just talking about random stuff.
But yeah, so Machine Gun Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly, this boy. He dissed Eminem. Well, Eminem said his name in his most recent album. And he dissed him, and then Eminem got him back, and then he went and performed his diss track at he was opening for Fall Out Boy in this stadium. Tons and tons and tons of people who were there for Fall Out Boy, and not MGK. And he performed it, and as he performed it, have you seen the Instagram picture?
No, I have not.
Let me figure out how to cast this tab to that television. There we go. Look at that.
Oh my.
That was easy.
So he...
All right. So he takes this Instagram picture. Oh, I hope nothing bad comes up. He takes this... What the heck? It's not on here at all. So
what happened, more or less?
He goes... So he's opening for Fall Out Boy at some packed stadium. And there are a couple of videos down here that show pretty much what I'm wanting. But he goes on stage and I guess he's performed a couple of songs or whatever already. And then as he's about to go off stage or something like that, he turns around, he's wearing a jacket, and he turns away from the audience. And he asks them, he says, hey, can all of you all pose with your middle fingers up? And I'm going to take a Instagram picture or Snapchat or something. And then he goes around to take, this Instagram picture like this, and he's got his middle finger up. And then he takes his jacket off as he's facing away from the audience so they can't see what he's doing. He takes his jacket off, and it's got the Eminem's, his kill shot. Hold on. This picture, it's got this, dang it. I can't find it.
I don't understand the Nikes.
It's got this picture.
Okay.
His shirt has this picture on it, and he takes his jacket off, and that's what's underneath it. And then he's, you know, flipping off the camera, and all these audience members are flipping off the camera, and they don't even know why.
They don't know why.
And he takes a picture, and then he turns around, and they all see what's on his shirt, and that's when he starts to sing his song or his little whatever. And it just didn't go very well. He yelled it over, like, they played it really loud on the speakers, so you could hardly even hear him, you know, over the music.
Yeah.
He's yelling this whole thing, and then they boo him off stage, and it's like you can hear the booing over the song. It was really bad.
Yikes.
This poor boy.
Well, that whole feud is fascinating to me, just because I think it's always hilarious when rappers have beef. I don't know. It's such a dumb concept.
Yeah.
It's like adults having middle school arguments, more or less.
My thing is, like, Eminem is probably, like, I've heard people that are saying that it's all fabricated, which, I mean, it could very well be, but he seems like he's actually mad at Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly seems like he's actually mad at Eminem. And all this, like, whether they're mad or not, they're, like, this beef between them, they're making tons and tons of money off of it. Like, I mean, there's no such thing as bad PR, and they're both, you know, in the middle of making tons and tons of money off of this. Eminem's Kill Shot, I saw somewhere, that was the number one, like, fastest growing, like, or most watched YouTube, like, debut video of all time or something like that, where it got so many millions of views in just a day. How many does it have now? What's it sitting at?
Oh. Thanks.
It's got 85 million views. It's catching up pretty quick to Machine Gun Kelly's track. He released his like 2 weeks ago, and it has 99 million views. Eminem's was 5 days ago. It's got 85 million. It's had more, like, millions of views in the first, I don't know how many, like, first 24 hours than, like, any video before has ever had, which is crazy.
That is pretty wild.
Whoops, that's not what I wanted.
Okay, let's see. I didn't realize there was a Vivo for Christian music. That's interesting.
No. Cast tab.
Wow, that was jarring.
Like that.
Yeah, that's pretty jarring.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, get some other people out here, get them on, get them talking.
Yeah. I have, you know, whenever, be it music, games, TV shows, or whatever, I tend to go on kicks sometimes. Like, I'm coming out of a weird Bob Dylan kick that I had at the start of the summer. But I guess I'm accidentally in another Stephen King kick, because I watched the last year's adaptation of It. What was that, 2 nights ago? I think it was 2 nights ago.
That we watched it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that, and it was really good. It was really creepy. And now I've started watching Castle Rock, which I didn't realize, but is also affiliated with Stephen King and set in his multiverse. I guess that's the term for when people create interconnected stories.
Like when things are just like, not when they have to shove it down your throat, but like when there's a nice, like
a callback or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it makes me feel good inside.
That's fair. I mean, it's neat. In Castle Rock, I mean, the biggest thing that tipped me off is that it takes place in Shawshank Prison. Or that's one of the central locations in the show. They reference, I there's a scene in the second episode that references Cujo, actually, in which the main character finds a newspaper headline that says, like, rabid dog goes on killer rampage or something, and it's got a picture of Cujo, the dog. And I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. And then there's some narration at the start of the second episode that references the plot of Stand By Me, in which a group of young boys in a town in the 60s go on this journey to find a dead body somewhere. It's weird. It's like, hey, you want to go see a dead body? And that's kind of the framing for that movie. But they just casually reference that in the opening narration. And so...
I want to go on an adventure.
Want to go see a dead body?
No. I'm not no Logan Paul.
Oh, gosh.
We thought
that's
we had
true.
gotten away from that.
As soon as you thought that had died down.
We need to go record some audio in that little echo chamber.
That's true. If there was ever a place to find a dead body, that would be it. That place is odd. I wonder what other kind of funky corners are hidden throughout Johnson City. I'm sure there's all sorts of weird abandoned places around here. Around here.
Let's find out. Abandoned.
Now, there's plenty of abandoned places
Johnson City, Tennessee.
in Northeast Tennessee. Abandoned farm hidden in plain sight. Exploration.
Oh, yeah. This guy did a video.
On Bimberg?
When curiosity
Yeah.
and fear says, let's go back.
Bless
Everyone, it's John here. I'm coming to you from beautiful Johnson City, Tennessee.
Woot woot.
Here with Ray the Explorer. Call me Ray the Explorer. He has told me about a few places here. I decided to come join him today. He's showing me around some of the abandoned places here in
Good
Johnson
job,
City.
Ray.
This one is pretty amazing so far. He's walked me through these woods here and about killed me, but we're here. We made it. It's an abandoned dairy farm. Looks like from the outside all the old equipment is still inside, so I'm excited about getting in here, checking it out. Looks like it was worth the hike through the briars and brambles and everything in the woods.
The balls.
The bras.
So let's go check it out and see what's left. Okay, we just got inside, and look here. There's still a flatbed trailer loaded with hay. Hay all back in there.
Somebody still owns
Makes me wanna
this.
go,
Yeah.
hey!
That's nice.
Yeah. Little critter prints in here. Little birds hanging out in the sand.
I think they're in somebody's backyard.
Yeah, this is not abandoned.
They're about to get shot at.
Wait a second.
We found this abandoned town.
Yeah, okay.
I think the barn we were hunting for has collapsed. We couldn't find it. We found remnants of what might have been a barn.
I wanna contact this guy.
Yeah, does he live around Johnson City? Oh, he lives in Knoxville.
He's got a P.O. box in Knoxville. I want to be like, hey man, we live in Johnson City. Come on out next time. Had a good time, John. Next time we will stay near my hometown. Got some good stuff near this area. Thanks, it was fun. Ray that's the guy that was in the video. Ray the Explorer.
Maybe we need to hit up Ray the Explorer.
I wanna hit
He
up
seems
those
like
guys.
the local connection here. Although I gotta admit, Ray is an interesting name.
Ray the Explorer. Now, abandoned house, Johnson. Oh, this is the same video, but from his perspective.
Oh,
Abandoned coal mine, hidden in the backwoods of East Tennessee. I already used frame.
Video
Quit,
is hard, really hard. But do you know one of the parts that
quit
sucks?
advertising to
John
me.
here.
man, Vince Vaughn is really branching out.
Coming to
Interesting.
you from Bryceville, Tennessee.
Did
Now,
you
this
just
was
make that up?
recorded, But I came across something pretty cool. Check it out. An abandoned coal mine. We'll go over here and see what's left. Check it out. I don't know if it's supposed to be here or not. We might get kicked up. I don't know. We're going to go check it out. See what's left. Follow me. Now, abandoned coal mines It's fairly common. But finding a tipple in this kind of shape.
Oh, what?
Excuse
is
me?
not, so
Can you show that on YouTube?
I don't know how recently this place was abandoned. I know this was the site of a horrific mine disaster about 100 years ago. Don't know all the exact details of it, but
Really?
it was really bad.
Bryceville. It's
A lot of
missing.
people died.
Where's Bryceville?
So I wonder how this guy finds these abandoned places.
I don't know. I've seen websites like abandoned East Tennessee. There's like websites that have a ton of 10 crazy abandoned spots in Tennessee.
Yeah.
UrbanGhostsMedia.com.
Interesting.
11 forgotten places in the volunteer state. Ashler Hall, Memphis. Something else in Memphis. Abandoned church in Adams. Greene County. I don't know where that is.
That's right next to us.
It is?
Yeah, Greene County.
Neat.
Greene County is where Greenville is.
Abandoned Walmart, Hamilton County. Wait, Greene County is where what is?
That's where Greenville is.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Thus the name.
This looks straight up like Fallout. Hold on. Can I switch? I need to switch tabs. Cast at this tab. Stop it.
Yikes.
This looks like straight out of Fallout almost.
It kind of does. What is that?
Abandoned
warehouse in Memphis. That's interesting because up until a couple of years ago, we had a building that looked very similar to that in downtown Johnson City.
Urban Ghosts.
Plus, wait a second, that's not the castle here in Elizabethton, is or Johnson City, is it?
No, this is in Memphis.
Okay,
The top one is
top
in
left.
Memphis.
Oh wow, that's weird. There is a castle here in Johnson City that is similarly abandoned and also really weird looking.
Boy, have you lost your mind? 'Cause I'll help you find it.
I'm trying to think. Back in Columbus, Georgia, there was a bunch of abandoned warehouses and things like that of that size. And I had to go into a couple for my work that I used to do back then. And I remember going into one, and it was a warehouse that had been repurposed as I think a repair shop for trucks, like 18-wheelers. And it was massive. The ceilings were like, if you had put regular floors in it, it would have been like a 3-story building, but the ceilings were just vaulted incredibly high. And there were sections where the floor had collapsed, and I think there was a basement underneath it, but it had been sealed off. But where the floors collapsed, you could see down into it, and it went down probably another 20 feet. And this was a warehouse built in like the 30s or 40s that had just been repurposed over time. And that was really interesting to go into, but it was also incredibly terrifying because no one had been in there for probably 10 years when I went in there. So there's all sorts of interesting stuff really all over. You just got to go out and find them. And that's the thing, is that half the time they are on private property, so you can't really find them.
Last year, Candace Tingle, for her photo minor show, major minor show, did something on her grandparents' like land. They had a whole bunch of really interesting like abandoned stuff. And I asked her, I was like, hey, where'd you get those pictures? I would love to go there. She was like, oh, it's my grandparents. I was like, dang it.
Okay.
But yeah, they're like, I don't know. You got to get to know the owners of places and then
That is true.
go in there. Like when I go to When I go to Pennsylvania in a couple of weeks, I'm going to try and make a video about my grandpa. Because he's a firefighter. He's like 77 or 78. And he's a volunteer firefighter.
Yeah.
And he like goes out and does like responds to car wrecks in the middle of the night and stuff. It's crazy. I want to make a video about him.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, let me back up. Maybe one of these days I should do a video about Peacock Tire and Towing back in Georgia. That's an interesting bit of history.
Number 7. Daniel Peacock Tire and Towing.
No. Daniel Peacock.
Danny M.
Never
Peacock.
owned that. That was
Peacock.net.
All right. Listen, it was the only thing that was available.
Neat. All right. Well, I think we've got just about everything tested that we've had everything tested that we need. But
Okay,
anyways,
that's good.
just
I
making
gotta.
sure we have good AF audio before we go.
Yes. And so, I have to get up and get on a plane tomorrow.
Okay, what time are you getting up for that?
I'm probably gonna wake up around like 6:30, 6:45
Nice.
ish. Because I want to be on the road early 7 o'clock.
Well, good luck to you, or whatever.
Thank you. For those of you that tuned in, thanks for sticking around.
There's. I think I'm the only one watching right now. Which
Okay.
is fine because we're just testing. But.
That's true.
All right. Welp, it's been a test.
It's been a tester. I'm so sorry I said that.
And we're out.
And we're clean. It's been a test.